Hey guys, what's going on? Matt McVicker here from mattmcvicker.com coming at you today. Asked a question out on Facebook the other day to you guys. What would you guys like to know? What is something that maybe you've got information overload on? What is something that you are curious about and would like to know more? And it seemed like the resounding topic that came back was SEO or search engine optimization. So I'm going to shoot a real quick video series here called Super Simple SEO. Just a disclaimer, this not is a huge in-depth guide into how specific techniques and what you can do. This is more of just a general 30,000 foot view overview of what SEO is and just to kind of get you to grasp the terms and the knowledge. I've got an ebook actually that kind of dives into what SEO is and specific techniques, tips and tricks and things that you can do if you really want to dive into it and get into all about SEO. Definitely check that out. But let's jump right into what SEO is. Basically, SEO or search engine optimization is how you rank a website in Google. Before we get into that, real quick tip here for you. Did you know that the top two search engines are Google and YouTube? Yes, that's right, YouTube. People go to Google first to search for a particular topic. Then next they go to YouTube to look for videos on it. Another cool thing, if you notice, is let's type in just something like an electrician. You can see that this is made up of several different components when you look at a Google search page. So what happens is let's kind of dive into what this is and how it works real quick. First off, up here at the top and down the side, we have what we call ads or paid pay-per-click advertising. So these companies up here at the top pay to be in these particular spots. So they pay money every time somebody clicks on this link, they pay a certain amount of money to be there. Same thing with these ads right here. Those are pay-per-click ads as well. Now underneath this, because I typed in just a generic electrician term, it's pulling results that are close to me here in Ohio of the closest electricians. So what you can see right here is this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You used to call it the Google 7-pack. They've changed names, but it shows you the 7 local listings from Google Places. Now this is completely different than what the actual website would be, the website listings that you see down here. And so we've got, once again, let's back up a step. You've got pay-per-click at the top, Google Places here, and then you've got the actual websites here. Then they usually throw in some images. So neat little trick, neat little tip here is you can actually rank your image to show up here as well as your website and as well as your Google Places listing. So there's multiple ways that you can get on the front page of Google. And as I'll show you here later on, you can also get your video to pop up here a lot easier than you can your website or some images. But that's just kind of the general layout of Google. Now if you notice here, you can go 10 pages deep, or if we click on page 10, you can go 14. I mean, you can go hundreds of pages deep into the search results, but you know, quite naturally, I can't tell you the last time I have gone past the first page of the rankings within Google. Typically, you search something in here, you type it in, and you look for it. We'll just type in web design, right? You click in here and you go to the first page and you try to find what you're looking for, and if you don't see it here, quite naturally you type in something else and see what comes up. So that's kind of the general overview of what your search listings look like. Now let's talk about how you get here, okay? Well, first off, let's start at the top. You put in what we call, quote unquote, a keyword. That's the topic you're searching for. A keyword can be several different things. It can be one word, it can be 2 words, it can be multiple words. You may hear some kind of the jargon that people talk about with these keywords are short tail or long tail keywords. Long tail keywords typically are anything that comprises of either 3 or 4 words put together as far as a keyword, like for instance, how to quilt, or how to make my computer run faster, or how to design a website, or how to blow a super big bubble with bubble gum. Those are kind of the long tail things which people are specifically searching for a how to or about a specific topic. So those are what we call a long tail. Short tail are usually typical 2 words or less, something that you have that you're just typing in the general knowledge, like for instance web design or electrician or cars, whatever it may be. You can type in there and you'll see what that does. So those are the difference between the types of keywords that people typically search for. I want to throw a real quick, want to pause here and throw in a disclaimer. Something that Google has done, I think we can all say now that we know Google is very smart. Their people are super smart there, and one of the things that they do is they take your cache or your cookies or your history that you go through and you look for a website. I kind of learned this the hard way with myself, is if you search for a particular item over time, what's going to happen is they're going to realize that, and they're going to build a cache in the back of your website to where every time you search for a specific thing, see, this is a perfect example. This is my company website, Staple Chasers. You can see here that this is already purple, which means I've clicked on this link before. And so Google knows that I've clicked on this link before. So what they do is this automatically shows up here at the top because I've clicked on it before. And so if you're trying to rank your website, and let's say you put in your search term, whatever your search term may be that you're searching for. I'll just use this one as a demonstration. Oh, spelled it wrong. And as you can see, I clicked here, I'm right here, it'll move your website up because of that. And so it'll bump it up. So you may think that your website's actually at the top of Google because you keep searching for that same particular keyword, but your website keeps moving up and up and up. But what actually is going on is Google is learning that you're looking for that particular thing. They know that you're looking for that, so they keep moving it up and up and up closer to the top. And what actually may be happening is your website not even maybe on the first page of Google. It may not even be on the second page of Google, but they're knowing that you like to go to that website, so they're bringing it up more and more often because you click on it more frequently. And so what you really need to do if you're doing some search engine optimization for your website and you really want to kind of get a gauge on where your site is and how it's doing, is I use this web browser called Google Chrome. They've got a feature up here at the top. It's called open a new incognito window, which is a window that doesn't have any cookies, doesn't have any cache built into it, nothing already. It's just a blank slate to work with, where you can go to Google and type in your specific keyword you're trying to search for and see where your website ranks accordingly. And so typically that's what I'll do when I'm checking results, when I'm working on a client's website or I'm working on my own website, how I can gauge where it's at and how well it's doing. I go into the Google Incognito window. Now Google does do some things. Let's talk about traffic and what Google considers great traffic, good organic traffic, natural traffic, and what they consider bad traffic. Now there's two terms you maybe hear people talking about out there. They call them white hat, which is great organic hat or good traffic, and they call them black hat, which is bad techniques where people learn how to do things. And I use the phrase rules are made to be broken. Well, the rules have been broken. These people who use black hat techniques have figured out what Google is doing and find a way to manipulate it and to make it work for them. So Google comes up with these updates 2 or 3 times a year. Some of the past updates you may have heard about have been the Google Farmer update, the Google Panda update, and the latest one I believe was the Google Penguin update, where they're doing things, they're trying to change their algorithm that they have so that they take these companies who are using these black hat techniques and kind of push them down to where the companies who are using the white hat techniques, the organic traffic techniques, and push their websites up. Okay. Now, one thing I want to note, just because if Google does do one of these updates and your website gets knocked down from where it is at, it doesn't mean you are doing black hat techniques per se. What it means is they actually change something, and your website may have relied too heavily on that one particular technique. And so what you need to do is look at it as a whole and see what you're doing to your website and make sure that you're diversified. I mean, we hear this talk and this, this jargon in financial accounting or financial investment all the time. You need to be diversified. Well, the same thing when it comes to SEO. You need to make sure you're diversified. You need to make sure links are diversified. You need to make sure your on-page SEO is diversified, your anchor text are diversified, so that way your site has all of these things helping organic traffic, helping organic rankings to get you boosted up into Google's search results. Okay? So that kind of covers, white hat, black hat, organic traffic, what that is, and the difference of page areas and what that kind of stuff is. So that's kind of just a broad general overview of what SEO is. What I've done is I've broken this training down into 3 specific topics. First topic being keyword research, second topic being on-page SEO, and the third topic being off-page SEO. Each one of those 3 sections is also broken down into 3 short videos that kind of go into detail on what those things are and how they work. So if you'd enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you just leave me a comment below, let me know what you think. Or if you have a specific question about SEO you'd like to ask and you'd like me to answer, please leave that below as well, and I'd be happy to take care of that for you too. So this is kind of just a brief general overview of what SEO is, and we'll dive into the next video, which will be keyword research. Talk to you soon. Thanks.